Welcome to Born to Win. I'm Brian Proctor, and each Monday, I'll be sharing a short message to help you start your week with focus, clarity, and a sense of purpose. Every episode is designed to remind you that success isn't something you chase, it's something you allow. You were born to win, and when you live in harmony with the laws of life, you begin to experience that truth in every area. So take a deep breath, open your mind, and let's get started. It's the month of November, and even though I'm Canadian, I've been living here in the United States for a number of years now, so I celebrate Thanksgiving on the American date right along with everyone else here. I love this time of year. It symbolizes both abundance and decay, representing the cycle of harvest, preparation, and transition. Fall is the perfect example of the universal law of rhythm, which states that cycles are a natural part of the universe, and these cycles are opportunities for letting go and reflection, as well as the beauty of change and making space for new growth. It is the perfect time to reflect on old stories and past hurts and decide to give them less power over you by giving them less attention. Talking about them less and no longer letting them define or limit you? Wow. The law of rhythm serves as a poignant reminder that there will always be highs and lows, good days and bad days. It's all necessary. This fall season is often associated with themes of endings and beginnings. The pace slows, giving us time to reflect, to look at what we've built, what we've learned, and who we've become. It's a month that naturally invites gratitude and reflection. But for some, it can also bring up reminders of people we miss and relationships that may feel strained. But what I want to offer you here is the understanding of the opportunity you have to make others feel good. Whether that is at a large family gathering or an interaction with, let's say, your local barista, you can make a difference. That is why I want to dedicate the rest of this month to something deeper than just gratitude as a concept. Now, next week, I will take a deeper dive into gratitude, but today I want to explore with you how we express it, how we receive it, and how it shows up in the way we treat others. And that begins with one of my father's most enduring lessons, a simple idea that has the power to transform every relationship in your life. It's called MMFI, Make Me Feel Important. It's the heart connection. When you first hear that phrase, make me feel important, it sounds almost too simple. But Dad reminded me often, Brian, it's the simple truths that build great lives. MMFI is one of those truths. It means that every single person you meet, regardless of who they are, what they do, or how you know them, or how they act, wants to feel seen. You see, when you feel noticed, you feel cared for, and everyone wants that. We all want to feel heard. We all want to feel we matter. And when someone leaves an interaction with you feeling valued, well, something shifts. Trust grows, respect deepens, and connection takes root. I choose to live by the mantra, kindness matters. And behind that kindness is a spiritual understanding. When you honor the spirit in another person, you are honoring the spirit within yourself. That's the essence of this lesson, make me feel important. It's not a tactic or technique. It's a way of being. It's a vibration you bring into every room, every conversation, every relationship. Now let me share with you briefly how I first came to understand this concept. You see, I learned this principle early in life. I was 9 years old, and for the fourth time in my young life, I found myself at a new school. I was once again that new kid. My father had taken a job at Nightingale Conant. Working alongside Earl Nightingale was his dream. So we packed up and moved to Chicago. My father was in his den, and I walked in to ask him for his advice. We sat together, he in his chair, and I was on the ottoman. I remember like it was yesterday. In fact, 2 years ago, Corey and I were attending a wedding in Chicago, and we made a little side trip to that house. It sure brought back some good memories. So as I sat there with Dad, I told him that I was nervous about starting at a new school. I didn't know anyone. And I remember sitting there hoping he could tell me how to fit in, how not to feel so out of place. He didn't give me a long talk. He just looked at me and said, Brian, everyone you meet wants to feel important. If you make other people feel important, you'll never be short on friends. And he told me to put these 4 letters on the forehead of everybody that was in front of me. MMFI. Make me feel important. That was it. No long speech, no list of rules, just truth. The next morning, I walked into school and decided to try it. I didn't try to impress anyone or pretend to be something I wasn't. I simply listened when others talked. I asked questions. I smiled. I made others feel seen. And something happened. That heavy, nervous feeling I'd been carrying began to lift. Kids started to talk to me. I started to feel connected. That moment in that little den on Maplewood Lane changed how I move through the world today. I have incorporated this lesson so deeply into my fiber that it is who I am. But here is something important to understand. MMFI, or make me feel important, doesn't mean ignoring your needs or losing yourself. It doesn't mean giving so much of yourself that your tank is empty. It's not about people-pleasing or approval-seeking. It's about developing your ability to be present, to hone your listening skills, and I mean really listen. Listen in a way that you can ask good questions to help the other person go deeper. This is about showing up fully with whoever you're with, because presence is one of the greatest gifts you can give another person. And the beautiful part, you don't lose yourself when you do this. You actually find more of yourself. When you make someone feel seen, you expand your own sense of worth and belonging. That's the real secret. So let's talk about what MMFI is and what it isn't. It's not flattery. It's not manipulation. It's not about saying what people want to hear. It is about recognizing that every person carries the same spiritual truth. They want to be acknowledged. You know, my dad would say, treat people as the person they are becoming, not as the person they appear to be. That is the spiritual essence of make me feel important. When you interact with someone, you're not just dealing with a body or a title. You're connecting with the spirit of who they are. And when you acknowledge that spirit with sincerity, it's like flipping on a light. People feel it, they sense it, and they respond in kind. It's a subtle shift, but it changes everything. You are entering into the spirit of life, and you are showing others what that means by the feeling you leave them with. We live in a world where people are constantly distracted, chasing, comparing, always looking down and scrolling, competing with curated content. When you give someone your full attention, even for 30 seconds, it's rare. It's magnetic. That's true in business, in relationships, in leadership, and in family. When you make someone feel important, you don't lose importance, you gain influence. You build trust, and you deepen your impact. Because the truth is, as Maya Angelou quoted, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So how do we put this into practice? It really starts with something simple: attention. When someone speaks to you, put your phone down and really listen. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Listen to understand. Look them in the eye. Let them finish their thought. Ask questions. Be curious. Say things like, tell me more about that. How did that make you feel? Or, that's interesting. What made you decide to do that? When you show interest, you communicate value. You tell that person you matter. And don't underestimate the little gestures. Remember a name. Offer a genuine compliment. You can always find good. Look for it. Acknowledge someone's effort, even if they didn't get it perfect. MMFI doesn't take more time. It takes more presence. Now, over the years, I've realized that this principle goes far beyond friendship or good manners. It's a universal truth about energy and vibration. When you make others feel important, you raise your own vibration. You align with love, gratitude, and abundance, which operate at the highest frequencies. And life will reflect that back to you. It's a spiritual law. What you give, you receive. You can't make someone else feel important without also strengthening your own sense of worth. That's why MMFI isn't about giving yourself away. It's about giving from your fullness. It's about seeing yourself and others as divine expressions of the same creative force. That's what my father was teaching all along, and that's what I want to pass on to you. So here's my challenge for you this week. Each morning, ask yourself one question. Who can I make feel important today? And then do it. It might be one person. It might be three. It might be everyone you meet. You don't have to plan it. Just set the intention. Pay attention to the small opportunities. A kind word to a stranger. A thank you to a coworker. A moment of presence with your partner or child. Even a smile. Genuine, unhurried, and real. Watch what happens. You'll begin to see how quickly the world softens when you lead with this kind of awareness. Because make me feel important. It isn't about changing others. It's about changing the energy you bring to every interaction. And when you do, life responds. People respond. Doors open. And gratitude, the real living kind, fills your life. Thank you for joining me today on Born to Win. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who could use a reminder of their own inner power. Remember, success isn't about luck or timing. It's about alignment. You were designed for success, built for expansion, and born to win. I'll see you next Monday. Until then, think big, trust yourself, and keep growing.